printer, and that has to be placed very precisely in the die pocket, as we call it there. So the little recess in the cartridge, that it's very critical, so that the cartridge will work in the printer, that acumen is in a precise location. The vision systems that we have on the line, that we had on the line for the grey plastic, currently picked up, if I can point it out, they picked up the edge of the die pocket as the reference, and used that then to identify where the die pocket is and to be able to insert the acumen chip into that. When you move to black plastic, the vision system can't see the edge of the die pocket. So we had to modify all our molds with this little cross wire for fiducial recognition. So now the vision system initially picks up on those crosshairs and uses them as a reference to identify the precise location for the acumen chip. And that, you know, took investments, you know, which needed commitment again to sign up to. And it took a long time to take down all our production molds, which are multi-cavity molds, and you'll see them tomorrow in your tour of MGS. And all of they had to be taken down, modified, or graded, or whatever, so that the plastic came in with these fiducials, so they would run on the production line. So again, another couple of challenges that needed to be worked through, and took quite a bit of time and investment. You know, commitment for investment to manufacture all your molds and upgrade all your manufacturing lines so that you could make that switch from grey to black plastic. Okay, and then the second, I suppose lastly then, from a printer interaction and a printer quality perspective, obviously the cartridges have to work seamlessly in the printer and give consistent quality, you know, comparable to what we were getting before we switched to recycled plastic. The difference again between the 60 cartridge or whatever, these cartridges obviously are disposable. So, you know, when the cartridge is out of ink or whatever, you replace it, but you get a second print head, you get a new print head with every cartridge. With the polypropylene cartridges, you don't get a new print head. So the print head in the printers for those cartridges obviously has to be guaranteed for a certain, a much greater lifespan than just the disposable cartridge. So it's super critical, and I think it was mentioned before, that the inks don't react in any way with the recycled plastic, and if there was any danger of organic or inorganic contaminants in the recycled plastic coming in and reacting with the ink, it obviously could have a detrimental effect, not only from print quality, but could ultimately damage the printer, which obviously was not something that we want. So to ensure that, we did quite an extensive testing. We did have to develop a new test to test the incoming recycled material, both the HP tape-back and the hanger material that Laverne are using. And that test is quite sophisticated. It does measure, you know, down to the parts per million level. And that was developed with the R&D lab in Corvallis in Oregon. And when we were happy with that, it was transferred to the University of Montreal. So Laverne works directly with those now, and every lot that Laverne produce, the sample has to pass a test at the Montreal University before Laverne can ship that material. So again, ensuring that any material Laverne ship out meets our quality standard or whatever, and we're not putting at any risk to the material that we're filling the supply chain with, at our molders and onto the factory itself. Okay. So some of these might have been tested. So, you know, we've 7-year year-on-year growth in terms of you can see on the graph here with the PET program, and as that program matures, then the polypropylene program kicking in. So 2 billion cartridges to date, I think that was mentioned before. And in the past 3 years, another more than one trailer of closed loop material used per day, just as another scenario. Again, this timeline probably has been touched on already. That, you know, we introduced the take-back program starting in 2000 and 2001. The PET program introduced in 2005. Started the polypropylene program in 2010, and completed that in a shorter time, 3 years, and so 2013, the end of 2013 into 14, launching that program. And the hope is, you know, the future products that we're making are being made out of polypropylene material, and hopefully we can leverage the program we've just completed, and then the enterprise programs that printers that have been launched, and the cartridges that go into those products, that we'll be able to soon get them onto recycled plastic. And so where do we go from here? So continue the supplies loop development, be it and learning from the PET and the polypropylene program. Extensions into the hardware, if they can leverage anything that we have learned from these two programs. You see there's a lot of plastics used in those printers and computers, and recycling then into the future on the enterprise products. And as I mentioned before, continuing to look for opportunities for the other components in the cartridges. Metals is probably already used, but if you could do something different with the inks in particular, that would be of very beneficial as well. So that's really it. Yeah. Any questions on any of that?
When you were designing a cartridge for a new printer, do you provide input to the printer team, or does the printer team say we need this sort of cartridge? Do you work together so that you can make best use of recycled material?
We're starting to do that at the moment, but up to now we probably haven't had the I suppose the expertise or the R&D knowledge required to be able to do that from day one. But now we're getting to very close where we can start, you know, trying to launch products with recycled plastic. Yeah. So that's certainly a goal that we would like to strive to.
Maybe it's a dumb question, but I understand why having consumers refill their cartridges doesn't really work out that well. It hasn't worked out that well. But what if you were doing it? I mean, this is a very admirable process. It's kind of complicated. It just seems to the unschooled non-engineer like me, it'd be easier just for you to refill the cartridges with ink.
Yeah.
So
well,
where am I wrong about that?
Well, to get into I mean, there's probably logistics questions of doing it, just to get cartridges back in volume.
Well, you're already getting them back in volume, aren't you? I mean,
yeah, but only a certain percent, so we're not getting all our cartridges back. But so even if you assumed that every cartridge that we sent out, we got back, the way the cartridge is designed, technically, once you seal the envelope, as you'll see there, the body. And the ink, and the way that cartridge is filled, the sequence in which it's filled, it's kind of a one-time only operation. Technically, if you break into that envelope, which manufacturers will do, drill a hole, fill it with ink, you cannot technically get the same level of fill again. And also the way the cartridge is designed, so that you get the maximum pages out of the cartridge. If you refill it, you destroy the ability for the cartridge to deliver the same pages, the same number of pages that would be in an original supply. So technically, it's very, very difficult to do, and not really possible, to be honest, once you break into an already sealed chamber. Okay.
To reduce the environmental impact, would not be better also for the end customer that the ink cartridge has more capacity?
Well, we do offer, different capacity cartridges with different levels of pages out, and I suppose that's a choice point in terms of, marketing and sales. Some people that would be heavy printers would like the higher fill cartridges. Some people that print infrequently are happy with the lower number of pages out, and that satisfies their requirements.
I think that everyone wants more capacity and less cost in the cartridge. And I think the business model is more related to resell the cartridge,
Well, it definitely...
And not make the cost in the printer and shift this cost to the cartridge. So this has a huge impact environmental.
Well, there definitely is, and maybe Jean has a different slide. There's definitely, you know, a choice point in terms of price per page, and obviously, you know, I'm sure there's market service that has been done to try to select those price points, you know, where it's economical to produce the cartridges to match that with customers' expectation in terms of pages out.
He's right. So when we design the cartridges, we make sure that they last for an expected amount of time for customers, and then we offer different sizes of the cartridges. And then if a customer prints a lot, they're likely to buy a higher end printer that prints more pages.
And I think just, I'll hand this round, but you'll see, I don't know how many of you have actually looked inside a printer cartridge, especially the ones that have the print head integrated, and you'll see that there's like three, this is a tricolour, so you'll see that there's a sponge in there, so there's a limit to how much ink you can physically get into the device anyway. So I'm happy to hand that round, and you'll see more of that tomorrow as you go through the manufacturing line.
I'll say, again, it's some about customer choice, and you'll see some of our new ink products in the enterprise that have capacity in one cartridge up to, I believe it's up to 10,000 pages of black on Autobahn.
Right.
So you're talking about 10,000 pages in one cartridge if you want to drive that much. So the capacity is there if a customer chooses to do so. And again, I think to Gene's point, if you're a customer like that who's printing high volume, you know, 10,000 pages is a lot for one cartridge. So it really is a customer choice issue.
Okay. Well, that's fine. So if you have any other questions, you can come up during the tour tomorrow or whatever, please ask them. And as I say, if you have a good look at those, it'll give you a good sense of what's, you know, if you look at the on-wash take back, it's quite a jungle of material to get it to the stage where you can actually reuse it. Okay, thank you.